All right. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're signing in with us. So this is an exciting session that is really indicating and showing and reflecting on what students are doing. We heard in the first session today in the morning about how it is important to engage students because they are the future leaders of our planet. So, farming around the world, globally empowering student farms is a group of wonderful students from University of California, Davis, and they're going to talk about how they have been involved and engaged. So let me briefly introduce them, and then I will let them to run with the session. So first of all, we'll hear from Andreas Vidija Rosenberg. Theirs pronoun, a PhD student in musicology. She's Brazilian and grew up in the city of Maringá, Paraná. She holds a bachelor's degree in music and a master's degree in music from University of California, Davis, where she's completing now her PhD. Her current studies are funded by the Brazilian agency CAPES, where she received a very prestigious Dottorado Pleno, the full doctoral scholarship. Andrea's focus is on women in music, and she's very enthusiastic about global learning, sustainable farming, and student protagonism. In her free time, she enjoys to listening and engaging with music, but also growing plants. Our second speaker will be Anka Barku. And Anka is a PhD student at the University of California, Davis. She has had the opportunity to work with very diverse group of international professionals in the field of agriculture, international development, ecology, and plant sciences. Her research right now focuses on plant physiology in the context of costus tropical plant systems. And she enjoys all kind of things besides just plants, traveling, cooking, crafts, and many other things. Our third speaker will be Akashia Karitiakeyan, who is also a graduate from University of California, Davis. She graduated with a major in cell biology and minor in computational biology. And she currently actually works already as a research associate at the BioRed laboratories in the process chromatography department. While she was here a student at the University of California, Davis, she participated in many projects, Project Rishi, Morning Sign Out, and Global Education. She is very much interested in raising global awareness and exploring sustainable solutions for global issues and hopes to continue these efforts. And our final speaker will be Nadia Mukhani, pronounced she, her, hers. She is a fourth year PhD candidate in the soils and biochemistry in a biochemistry graduate group. She has a bachelor's degree in soil and water management from Hassan to Institute of Agronomy and Veterinary Medicine in Morocco. She worked for a while after graduating, and now here at UC Davis, she's very much involved with the farming communities and also joined the Global Education for All Fellowships at UC Davis, where she had the opportunity to work with students, faculty, and staff. And engaging in a wide range of conversations, but also witnessing and supporting building the capacity and resilience of the human connection. So, without further ado, I would like to ask Andreas to begin our session.
Thank you, Professor. That was really kind words. Thank you for moderating our session. So good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. Today, we'll talk about food security, and we will also go over a very successful project that we had where students of 10 different countries and 4 partner universities came together to find solutions for current world challenges such as world hunger, food waste, and food security. And that's called Farming Around the World, Globally Empowering Student Farms. Next slide. Our team members are both graduate and undergraduate students. We have Nadia from Morocco, me from Brazil, Akshaya from India, Carolina from Japan, who is not here, but she is a part of the team, Ezra, who's going out of the team, but she's in Saudi Arabia, and Anka from Romania. But before we get accustomed to the topic, I'll also talk about a couple of questions for us to have a little bit of an icebreaker, okay? So we're gonna use the chat a lot at this point. We're gonna have a couple of polling for Mentimeter, and here is a link for you guys go to. Please do participate and put your answers in there. And our warm-up trivia today, we have a question called mystery question, but can you think of a dessert made with rice? And while you think about your answers and go answering in the Mentimeter, please go and do that. I want you guys to know that rice is very important and is the biggest crop in the world. A beloved staple food, but how many of you have had a dessert made of rice? So yeah, please share with us your experiences using Mentimeter and click on the link that we just sent so that we can check out your answers in a couple of minutes. And Nadia can also, I'm gonna just share now the answer results in Mentimeter, and she'll be able to open it up as the answers come in real time. And you can also check it out. You can just click on that link and you'll be able to see some responses, okay?
Andressa, can you put the link in the chat, please?
Yeah, I did. It's the last link I just pasted down. I'll paste it again. There you go. I see we have rice pudding, Kacinta in PH, mochi, ice cream, Suzy Grice, and arroz con leche. Yeah, the arroz con leche is an interesting staple because in Brazil we also have rice with milk and arroz con leche. Yeah, nice. And now that we got our minds thinking about food, we're gonna go for the second question. We have 3 questions, okay, you guys? So bear with me, and thank you for your answers. Next question is about bananas. No, wait, the next question is about corn. I apologize. I am looking at the wrong photo. And here is where you can put your answers in. And the question is, what are some corn? And while you put your answers in, I'll bring you some fun facts about corn. Did you know that Aztecs and Mayans developed a method of preparing corn where maize cooked with lime or other alkaline solution provided more nutrition to Mesoamericans? Anyone knows the name of that technique? If you want to put it in the chat too, I'll give a couple seconds if anyone knows the name of that technique. I know Anka knows it. So nobody said it. I'll spell it out for you guys. Nixtamalization, and you guys should check it out. Nixtamalización. Now, aside from eating, what other uses of corn, right? What else can you do with corn? Yeah, let's check out your answers in real time on this next link. There we go. So you guys can follow your answers there, and then Nadia will also be able to share the answers in a couple of seconds here as well. I'm going to check them out as well. Uses of corn, tortillas, yeah. Well, and uses of corn for tortillas, but we also, I didn't put it down, but I know in Brazil there's a lot of craft done with corn husks. You can crochet bags with it, you can make hats with it, and you can make dolls as well, which is really fun. There are other things. You can use it in makeup, right? So corn as starch is used in a lot of things in our world. Corn is also beloved. I love corn, so. And for the last question.
Hey, Andressa, sorry to disturb you, but I think you might have to use the session chat to put the links. Because it's going to the events.
I apologize for that slight problem. Okay, so should I do it for the next question? And I'm sorry, were you able to do the corn one?
Yeah, I sent it on the sessions. So you can just continue with, yeah, no worries.
Yes, okay. There it is. I apologize, you guys, technicalities. So, yeah, the next question will be on bananas and what you can do with banana peels, right? And why you put your answers on what you can do with banana peels, not bananas themselves, but just banana peels. I'll tell you guys that bananas rank as second place as the most cultivated fruit in the world. More than 115 million metric tons were produced in 2019. So right now, on our third and last Mentimeter poll, what can be done with banana peels, not bananas? And here's the link for you guys to put your answers in. Or wait, for you guys to see the results, and I can see the results as well. Shakes, warm compost, mulch, yeah, teas, whitening, and compost. Yeah, I've used compost and it was pretty successful. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing your thoughts, and thank you for letting us scramble your brains a little bit, to take your expectations away from what exactly our project is or we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about food and we're going to talk about growing food. But now we're also going to talk about food security. So now we'll think about those issues without heavy expectations of them, but we're going to listen to Anka, who's going to present on a couple of perspectives we have on food security. Thank you.
Thank you, Andressa. And now that Andressa started us thinking about food, we're gonna dive into a slight tangent. And before I talk to you more about food security, I'm interested to know how you feel about food security. What does it mean to you? Maybe you haven't had to deal with it, or maybe you have friends, or maybe you've worked with NGOs. Where people were food insecure. Would you please share in the chat your perspective, what it means to you, what you heard, what you are guessing it means? Because that's an interesting starting point. Yeah. So feel free to share with us in the chat. If it's completely foreign, that's okay. I'll give a brief presentation about that. But it would be nice to have a starting point to just see how much we all know about it and how much we are aware of this issue. Yeah. That's interesting. All right. Well, Nadia, if we could move on to the next slide, which is yes. Okay. Okay.
We haven't answered having access to nutritious food that you want to eat from Catherine.
Oh, that's a wonderful answer. Indeed. Yes. Fantastic. Having access to nutritious food. That's very good. Thank you, Katerina.
Not feeling hungry.
Not feeling hungry. Excellent. Indeed. Yes. There's a more formal definition, of course, but these are great starting points. Yeah. Can you believe that there are people that are food insecure? Having access to 3 meals a day. Yes. Was a presentation Zero Hunger? One of the Venezuela. Good to bed hungry. Oh gosh. Indeed. Wow. Now worrying about where your next meal will come. Excellent. Indeed. Yes. Right. So thank you everyone for sharing. Indeed. Yeah. It's hard to believe we're in this developed society and there are about 108 million people that are food insecure, although right now we're producing food enough for about 10 billion people. Now, this interesting discrepancy in the amount of food that is produced, and then having people that are food insecure, right? People that don't have access to 3 meals a day, don't have access to nutritious food, are worried about what they will eat tomorrow, if they will eat tomorrow, and I think this is something that we should all be concerned with because we can all do our little actions to bring this forward. If we could move on, Nadia, please. We are going to have a look at food security. There are different degrees of food security. There's high food security, usually in developed countries, where households don't have to worry about food. There's no anxiety about what are we going to eat tomorrow. There's marginal food security, where every now and then people are worried, oh, I might not have enough money to purchase food. We might have to be creative about our next meal. Low food security, where people do not have access to nutritious food. They don't have enough food to eat, obviously. And of course, there's very low food security for people experiencing constant hunger. And yeah, thank you. No, Nadia, it's good. Let's move on. And here we analyzed a few different situations. For example, in Sierra Leone and Tanzania, what they felt food security meant was availability from the perspective of agriculture for people to be able to secure loans, access to these loans for businesses, for agriculture, stability, so continuous access to these loans, and then utilization of these loans. So money was very, very important in this case study. If we were to move on to India, in this situation, SDG 2, the goal to reduce hunger or to have zero hunger, ideally, there are different aspects that they focused on. They have, for example, they have a national nutrition mission. They have midday meal schemes. They have targeted public distribution systems. A little bit more developed ideas for the general public, and it shows a clear political direction that they're looking to tackle, right? And if we could move on to the USA, which is interesting, right? I don't think you would expect USA to be in here. The reality is that about 40 million Americans are food insecure, and that's about 12 million children, which is a huge number, right? And the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona developed a plan to tackle food security by having emergency food assistance, soup kitchens, also addressing food production farms and empowering people to garden and to ensure their own food, SNAP education, and youth education. Ideally, these would all lead to higher food security. The USDA defines food security as insecurity, sorry, as a lack of consistent access to enough food for an active, healthy life. So to imagine that is happening for 40 million Americans is quite hard to believe, right? Well, that's what I wanted to bring your attention to. And now we're going to switch it to Akshaya, which is going to have a different take on the food topic. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Thank you, Anka. I'm Akshaya, and I'll be guiding the next part of the presentation. And so first, we'd like to get you started off with sharing some of your most cherished memories working with plants, gardens, farms, or student farms. So please do take a few minutes to recollect your memories and right away in the chat. Okay, I can get us started off. So one of the most cherished memories I have in regards to working with plants recently is actually during COVID. I started to invest some time in growing indoor house plants, and it has really brought a sense of peace and resilience throughout my everyday. I see Anka has shared picking sour cherries with my grandma. Nice. Growing your herbs, yes. It's really nice and resourceful. Okay. Thanks, Andressa, for sharing. See, discovering growing bush beans in a large pot. And Katharina, one most cherished memory I have is talking with students at our student farm and connecting over our shared interests in humanity. And then Ahmed, growing my vegetables. Nice. All right. Okay, if we could move on. Thanks everyone for sharing. All right. So now we'll be sharing about our project with the student farms. So our project was designed by a passionate team of students to foster collaboration among student farms and promote global learning experiences for anyone and anywhere in the world. So next slide, please. So we'd like to begin by sharing our mission for the project. So our aim was to initiate collaboration through global engagement, to learn, share, and exchange ideas to target global challenges such as food security. Next slide, please. So the idea of this project was initiated 2 years ago in 2019 as part of the Global Education for All Fellowship at UC Davis in partnership with UC Davis Student Farms. And Dr. Nancy Erbstein being our mentor and Dr. Katharina Ullman, our strongest partner. And when proposing an approach to global learning centered on students, we realized the potential behind creating supportive and welcoming networks between student farms around the world. So we partnered with 4 universities, namely the University of California, Davis, UE Moringa from Brazil, UTALCA from Chile, and UM6B from Morocco. And so now I'll hand it off to Nadia to explain our framework and the success of our project.
So sorry about earlier. I think I had some connectivity issues, but I'm back. Right now I'm back. So, so for our framework, we truly believe that great and inspiring solutions could potentially emanate from community members themselves. Thus, we aim to provide students from different parts of the world with the necessary tools to design solutions accustomed to their communities. We emphasize on the importance of human qualities such as deep listening and empathy to understand communities' needs before starting to think about solutions. Following those principles, we chose to partner with, we also encourage them to speak for themselves and take actions. Next slide, please. Yeah, this one. So we chose to partner with student farms because we believe that they play a role of liaison between students and researchers working in the academia field and the local farming communities. Thus, any designed solution could potentially be communicated back to the local farmers through the community engagement efforts already established at student farms. So next slide, please. Now we will listen from our first students cohorts what they said about participation in our program. The video, yeah.
Okay, thanks to everyone. And I can say that I really enjoyed the program from beginning to the end. So, and also firstly, it's a great privilege for me to be among the selected students at School of Agriculture, Fertilization, and Environmental Science. So to represent the UMCSP in Morocco in this great and first Student Farm Global Symposium. Also, my highest gratitude and appreciation go to all organizers of this program. So I'm so grateful for your support and your kindness. So you people, you have no idea of how much this symposium has helped us, most especially on our Learning by Farming program here in UMCSP. Because from this symposium, we got many answers to most of our questions, our problems, and also most of the challenges facing our research farm at UMCSP here due to the interaction we have with different students from other parts of the world. So, and also in addition to this, this virtual experience as well, it has also allowed me to learn about and to connect with different people from other countries, like in USA there, Saudi Arabia, and also Brazil. So connected with different people with different culture. So, and also I can say that with this program, I developed numerous communication and leadership skills, in which I believe that this skill will help me a lot throughout my endeavor. Also, lastly, I would like to thank Dr. Daria, the CEO of Y Center, yes. So we really appreciate him. We appreciate him for his time and also for the great memory and the nice session we had with him, most especially during our brainstorming session. I cannot thank him enough for the help and support he rendered to us. And lastly, also, we like to thank my team members. So from Melvin, starting from Melvin from Kenya, Amin Kassam, and Karim Maxi from Morocco. So those guys, they really done well. And also, I really enjoyed the opportunity to work with them. So, and also I will thank the other students also from Brazil, UC Davis, and all of you. And also most especially to Katarina. I don't know if I call your name very well. So you're amazing, Umar. You always make our session a very interesting one. So thank you so much. And also to Nadia and others. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. For me, I actually enjoyed the whole of the sessions that we have here. Maybe first of all, I mean that is the first but the last thing that we did, especially for the podcast. I wasn't think that we can make it especially with this kind of a distance, but and the time difference. But we try to fix sometimes in the midnight because we wanted to make it a balance. Sometimes others will be at work, others will be not at work. So we wanted to make it a balance. So it was actually interesting for us, for me. The second thing is to do with the way we were trained how to do design thinking in trying to solve problems, as well as the interference of Mr. Daria. He actually helped us. And now I really appreciate his strategies, technique that he made us to use in future, actually, because the thing will not end here. So I really appreciate that thing, as well as the communication skills. Now I think I'm at another level of better communicator, maybe. Thank you.
To everyone, I'm very grateful of participate in that symposium. It's very inspiring for me. See another people doing what fascinating me around the world. And I talk Spanish, Chilean Spanish, and I'm going to say gracias. Espero verlo en una próxima ocasión.
Okay.
Thank you, Andressa. And whenever we play this video, I really get inspired. And I want to say something that's from participating from organizing this Students Farm Global Symposium, we learned as much as the student did. We learned that our diversity is our greatest capital. And now more than ever, we need to promote more collaborative efforts in order to address global challenges, such as ensuring more sustainable food systems, fighting world hunger, ending poverty, and so on. I would like to thank you all for coming to our session, and we're open to receive any questions or feedback. And I'm so sorry for the technical issues earlier.
Great, thank you so much. This is wonderful to hear from you, but also to hear from the participants of the project. I don't know if we have any questions in the chat, but we have few minutes. And when I was listening to you, I was thinking, how do we transfer your experience into the next generation? And we don't reinvent the wheel, but we build on what you have learned and what you have created. So to kind of build a pathway, because obviously students come and go, and the challenges are with us, and we wanted to continue that kind of engagement, but also learning and thinking and identifying the challenges that are the challenges of the moment. So I don't know if you have any thoughts now that you have been involved for a while.
I can take that. So we aspire to make it as a program or a teaching or like seminar, or something that the students can actually take and get credits for. So we can partner with the UC Davis Students Farm to make it as a program, and students can actually enroll in it to make it to ensure its durability and longevity.
Mm-hmm. And what about the partnering with your partners from the project? That conversation continues?
Yeah, I can take that question. Now, we want to continue partnering. UEM got very, very excited, and I'm still talking to them back home in Brazil. At least from my side, I know that there's a strong interest, and because I have strong connections to my home university as well. And I really want to give back some of the knowledge I got at UC Davis, even if it's not through my main education, which is music. I know, but some people might be asking why. But I thought of creating a course that could be remote and involve the partner universities and Nadia as well. I even thought of one with music and affection and earth, and inspiring students to think or rethink their relationship with the land. And those are future thoughts.
Great. Anyone else? Any thoughts? How do we continue?
Yeah, so the same in Morocco too, like the university wants to continue, and maybe we will have other universities, Anka from Romania, your home university from Romania. And one of the pathways to continue is also we were thinking about really reinforcing the link with indigenous recipes and indigenous practices in each country. So if we can help each country to really make the link with the indigenous farming practices, the indigenous recipes, so that this rich culture can be empowered and we can bring it back to the surface.
Great. There's a question from Katerina in the chat. This past year, you focus on SDG 2. Are there other great challenges related to agriculture and food system you feel are related to SDG 2 that might be addressed with student farms around the world? Great questions. Thank you, Katarina. Anybody ready to take it on?
I could say that good health could be one of them. Gender equality, and I like to say that our group somewhat promotes gender equality because we are made up of mainly women. But yeah, we have education and then life and land and many other of the SDG challenges that are somewhat related to food security as well. And that if we think about zero hunger and then understand that it is connected with these other issues, then we definitely will have a lifetime and even beyond that of projects to come through.
That is true. Any other connections you feel? Yeah, Nadia?
Yeah, so I wanted to add also the other problem of feeding children nutritiously. And for that occasions, I would like to say that our group or our team was part of the Food System Game Changers Lab to submit a solution for the UN Food System Summit and we partnered with other teams to think about solutions, how to feed children nutritiously and increase food literacy, food systems literacy. And one of the solutions is to help children grow their food. So maybe not just the university, but also at schools, children, if they grow their food, if they feel that connection, they might feel curious to taste other nutritious food, and we can help them to be involved from the beginning. So yes, another problem linked to SDG is to increase food security at the children level, age.
Yeah, I'm very glad that you actually brought the school because I was thinking when we were talking about how to engage students, that how important it is to focus also on K through 12, right? Because if those students in the earlier mode of education will actually become more aware, then when they're coming to the university, right, they're already more ready to engage and work. And growing the food, as Nadia said, is excellent way, and school gardens, and then also learn about what do you do with different food. I thought one of your questions about the banana peels, it's a great question, but it struck me also how much we waste, not only food, but we waste the part of the food, which we don't know what to do with it, so we just throw away, right? And that's part of our tragic situation, is that, can we use it? Can the system, the industrial system, be actually ready to produce, to reproduce, to engage? So that's there's plenty of work that we can do. Oh, I see. Yeah. And just put the link. So any other thoughts about as you have been engaged? What next?
We will launch the second edition of the Global Student Farm Symposium. So work on it on the fall and maybe launch the second edition in the winter quarter/spring quarter at UC. Yeah, and also engage in the same universities and maybe add one more.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, that's wonderful. So that's like solidifying the group, right? The collective. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, we need to learn the ways of the higher education institution and how to also institutionalize the project ourselves. And we'll probably ask for your help. Got that in
sure, I'll
in
be
the
happy.
process of
I'll
doing
be
that.
happy to come.
Awesome.
Yeah, because there might be others who might be interested, but also in that kind of a virtual world right now that we are, what are the other opportunities of engaging partners, right? So it's not only the small group that you represent, but that the awareness can be sort of more spread and distributed, so to speak. So any thought about what the second symposium is going to be about?
We are still thinking, but one of the ideas was about really tapping on culture and indigenous practices, also music. So, but like the framework, as we said, like it's really, we want to emphasize on deep listening and empathy, and we feel like if we tackle now the cultural aspect, that might be a tool how to make that connection deeper.
Okay, great. No, that's great. And there are numbers of wonderful faculty working on the campus in Indigenous studies. So that might be a great connection to build in, to expanding the network. I see Katrina agrees that expanding of the Global Student Farm will be good idea. But I was thinking, we just published a voluntary university review, the SDG review of all 17 SDGs, and that document allows us to think about more broadly what is happening on the campus, but also how different SDGs are connected with each other. The topic that we've talked about. So I think that might be also good. We can share it's actually on our website. I see Jolene just join us and really points out that the focus on indigenous studies and the indigenous wide range of aspects of indigenous students, the lives will be actually very, very important. We put in the VUR link in the chat, and you'll be really nicely, I think, surprised how much we are involved. But at the same moment, it's interesting to find out how much of the work on the SDGs is actually happening in California. So this kind of a global local connection is very prominent. I see that we have to leave and conclude this session. So I want to thank you all so much for your work and also for your contribution. And I look forward to continue the conversations and expanding our network of student farm. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And Nadia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.